Once upon a time, a long time ago, or it could have been just yesterday, in a lodge that she built all by herself on the shores of Lake Huron, there lived a little brown duck whose name was Shingebiss. When the fierce north wind swept down from the glittering lands of snow, 4 great logs had Shingebiss, one for every one of the cold winter months. Brave and cheery was Shingebiss. No matter how the north wind blew and raged, she waddled out across the ice, and she found whatever food she needed. She would pull up the frozen rushes that grew on the edge of her pond, and then she would dive down and she would catch fish. And when she was ready, she would drag them home on a little string to go all the way back to her little lodge so that she could cook up her fish for supper. And then she would sit by her warm fire and feel so cozy. The north wind shrieked, "Woo, hoo, 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 brave Big Chief North Wind." All the other creatures fear him. Only little brown duck Shingebiss treats Big Chief North Wind as if he were Squaw Breeze. So the north wind sent cold, icy blasts, and he made big drifts of snow until neither bird nor beast dared venture forth, except for Shingebiss. Shingebiss just went out, just as she did every day. She paid no heed to the weather. And every day she would dig down into the rushes and pull them up so that she could catch her fish. And then she drug them home so that she could make a fine supper for her evening meal. "Ah," raged Big Chief North Wind, "little brown duck Shingebiss cares not for snow or ice. The north wind will freeze her holes so that she can get no food, and then the big chief will have conquered her." So the north wind froze the hole where little Shingebiss fished every day and sent big heaps of snow to cover her little pond. And when Shingebiss went out to gather her fish, and she saw that the pond was covered with snow, well, that didn't bother her at all. She just went on to another little pond that had not yet frozen, and she pulled up the rushes so that she could catch her fish, just like always, and back she would bring them to her little lodge. "Woo-hoo, woo-hoo-hoo," said the north wind in fury. "Big Chief is going to show that little duck who is important." And so every day he followed Shingebiss around, and every day he would cover the holes in the pond where she fished. And every day when Shingebiss came, she didn't mind. The cold didn't bother her. She just continued on until she could find another place to catch her fish. This made the north wind very angry, and he said, "Oh, I will go to the lodge where the little brown duck lives. Big Chief will blow in her door." will sit down by her side, and I will breathe my icy breath on her until she freezes. Now, Shingebiss had just eaten her supper, and she was sitting cozy in her lodge, warming her little web feet by the fire, and carefully holding his breath so that Shingebiss would not hear him. Very quietly, the north wind crept outside of the lodge, but Shingebiss could feel the cold, icy air coming through the cracks in her door, and she thought, I know who's there. And so she began to sing. Conich, conich, bien, bonen, bonen, oki, oki, kawia, kawia. And the north wind knew what she was saying. North wind, fierce in feature, you are still my fellow creature. Below your worst, you can't freeze me. I fear you not, and so I'm free. Oh, the north wind was raging, but he kept his voice to a whisper, and he said, Big Chief will freeze her. So the north wind crept inside her door, and he slipped right up behind little Shingebiss. But she knew he was there, and she paid no heed at all. She just sang louder. Conich, conich, bien, bonen, bonen, oki, oki, kawia, kawia. The big chief will stay till she freezes, whistled the north wind, and he blew his iciest breath. But at that moment, Shingebiss got up and she stirred her fire. And when she did, bright showers of sparks leapt up, and the log glowed ruddy gold. And the north wind's hair began to drip, and his icy face started to drip, and tears fell from his cheeks. And then his mighty puff of breath grew fainter and fainter and fainter. But Shingebiss still sat warming her little web feet by the blaze, and she continued to sing. North wind, fierce in feature, you are still my fellow creature. Below your worst, you can't freeze me. I fear you not, and so I'm free. At length, the north wind gave a big shriek. Ah! Big Chief is melting! Oh! And he cried and rushed headlong into a snowbank. Strange little brown duck, Shingebiss, he said weakly to himself. Big Chief Northwind can't starve her, can't freeze her, can't even make her afraid. Ugh! The north wind will leave her alone, for the Great Spirit is surely with that little brown duck. And if things have not changed, they are still the same today. Snip, snap, snout. This tale has been told out.